Today, I'm going to get really real with you guys. I'm going to tell you some honest truths, and sometimes they're hard to hear, and sometimes they can be triggering. Your triggers are your biggest healers. The tender parts that if you touch, it hurts. These are the spots that actually transform you the most. There's various analogies that people have said for like years and years about this exact principle. So a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. The weakest parts of you, the parts that are the easiest to trigger, are the parts that make you a weaker individual or a person that is easy to trigger or easy to offset. So it's those exact areas and parts that you need to work on and perfect and strengthen the most. First thing I want you guys to understand is to change your perspective. The things that are the hardest to talk about, the things that are the trigger points, the pain points, don't view them as a negative, view it as an opportunity. How do you honestly view these weaker parts of yourself, your weaknesses? Because you see your strengths, you play up on your strengths. But these weak parts, these trigger points, you don't want to talk about those. You're dancing around these trigger points, you're dancing around these weak points. A chain is only as strong as its weakest link. So if you have such a weak link, you have such a weak spot, a sensitive spot that you haven't strengthened, you haven't worked through, you haven't faced. You almost have to put a mask on to pretend that this part doesn't exist. You don't even tell people about it. You can go so many years with this pain and this trigger point, this weak link in the chain, without solving it, without looking at it. And that's where the problem comes in. Because if you want better for yourself and you want to level yourself up, this is where that hard work and that inner work comes in. The work that you don't want to do, the work that's uncomfortable. Digging up old wounds that you don't want to touch. I'm going to put it in a different context for you guys. Let's pretend there's a company, and that company has a weak point. Let's say its marketing is weak. The company is good. The company has strong values. It has a good team, has a good product, has a really good product. But if marketing is low, and that's the company's weak link, it's going to bring the whole company down. Because how are you going to have good business, good sales, good profits if your marketing team is weak? You're not going to get anywhere. You're not going to market it. You're not going to know how to market it. No one's going to know about your product. Now, take this principle and look at yourself. You have a higher version, but there's this weak point. There's a weakness. There's a trigger point. There's something you're trying to mask. That area, that exact spot is exactly the opportunity that you need. That exact spot is the exact area you want to target, fix, face right on, head on. Because imagine the progress and the transformation, the level up that you will have once you face that part, once you transmute and transform that aspect, that weak area. So find within yourself, what is that weak point of the company? Let's pretend you're a company. If you know what it is, journal about it. If you don't know what it is, journal about it. Once you journal about it, once you identify what it is, once you've felt it, once you've kind of written it all out and know the extent of it, do some meditations on it. Feel that part. Where does it show up in your body? When you bring it up, when you talk about it to somebody, where do you feel it? Do you feel like a tightness in your throat? Do you feel your stomach feeling a little bit nauseous? Breathe through it. Breathe into that area. You feel that emotion. Face that emotion. This is where a deep dive into inner work comes in. So some people have this aim to be one of the 1%. If you have an aim to be one of the 1%, that means you have to be doing the things that nobody else is doing. If nobody else is doing inner work on their weakest points, well, what do you think you should be doing? What do you think is going to be such a level up? That's something nobody else really does. Do you want to be average or do you want to be better than average? Striving to be better doesn't mean arrogance. It means realizing your potential and working towards it and bringing yourself closer and closer to these areas that we didn't think we could improve on. My videos are not meant for the average person, so I don't make content related to average problems or average goals. I make content based on really deep personal development. So that is the target. That is the goal. So if you want real true personal and self-development, this is the work. This is the behind the scenes, is going into the hardest, darkest, deepest parts of you that have not been solved, that have not been worked through, and working through them. It takes it honestly, this is the work. It takes the work. You have to be putting the work in. It is not tireless work. It's more so the courage to just do it. The bravery to just dive into that like horrible part of yourself that you're like, okay, this is that one weak link. This is what's holding me back. You may not even feel like it's holding you back. You may feel like, okay, I've buried this, like I haven't talked about this. I have swept this under the rug and I've forgotten about it, and it doesn't really matter. You don't realize what it's doing. Subconsciously, you're always going to have a little bit of effects from that. And that is where this inner work comes. You don't know the potential that you have until you do this inner work, until you go into this weakest part. That's the whole point of why it's the weakest part. You need to identify, what is that weak link? Maybe there's multiple weak links. Go for the weakest one. Start there. Okay, let's say the ultimate strength of the chain is 10, and you have a few 1s and 2s in the chain. Now your ultimate strength of the chain is 1 or 2. Now, what if you bring up those 1s and 2s to like 3s or 4s? Now the ultimate strength of the chain is 3s or 4s. So bringing links on the chain higher up in strength will strengthen the entire chain. It will strengthen you. Pull the weed out by the root. The only way to get rid of that weed is to pull it out from the root, not just snipping the top, not even, some people are watering that weed. Don't be one of those people that are watering the weed. Don't be one of those people that are snipping the weed. Don't be one of those people that are pulling it right from the bottom but not from the root, thinking that they got it. It's going to just keep growing back. Pull it out from the root. Go right to the bottom. Go right to the deepest parts. Do that work. Do that hard work that you feel like, I don't want to do this. It's going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to feel ugly. But that's the process. It's going to get uglier before it gets better. It's the same way when you take like Accutane or something. Your skin is going to break out and then it's going to clear. When you're purging your skin. The first thing when you go into a fast or a detox is you're going to feel weird. You're going to feel a little bit sick. You're going to have maybe headaches, or you're going to maybe break out because you're purging stuff. You're getting rid of stuff. Your body's going into autophagy. You're going to go into a phase of like detoxification. So it's going to feel uncomfortable at first. It's going to be ugly before it gets better. This is the whole point of transformation. It's not like a pretty perfect process. Do you ever see like a plane, that video of the plane going through that smoke cloud and then it just comes out? You have to go through this darkness, this unknown where it feels uncomfortable, but you know it's going to happen. You know what's going to happen. You're going to come out of it. But not only are you going to come out of it, you're going to come out of it changed. You're going to come out of it a leveled up, a different person, a stronger chain with a different perspective, a different state of mind. You're going to notice that your neutral state of mind is more positive, is more at peace. When you do the hard work and when you get into those areas in your life that need addressing, you're going to see you seem different. Like your mannerisms are going to seem different. You're going to act different. You're going to talk different. This is the whole point of like healing. The process of healing is so beautiful because as you keep going and as you keep healing deeper and deeper, you're like, whoa, like I didn't even know this level of health or level of happiness, level of peace was possible for me. And that's like the most beautiful part of it. And then you kind of get this thrill of like, you know what? I want to do more inner work. I want to solve more problems. I want to keep seeing how much more I can level up. Because you're like, wow, like what a difference that made. And start small. Let's say there's a person you haven't forgiven. I'm going to give you a journal prompt right now. What does forgiving this person or this situation look like for me? The first sentence is going to feel uncomfortable. Especially if you're not at that point where you can forgive, the first sentence is going to be like, okay, I don't want to do this. It's going to feel weird. It's going to feel like I shouldn't have forgiven them. They don't deserve my forgiveness. And it's going to go deeper. And you're like, you know what? Forgiveness might feel light. It might feel like a weight off my back. Forgiveness may feel like it's better for me than them. Forgiveness may feel, and then you just keep going and you keep writing and you start somewhere. Not enforcing yourself to get to the finish line, but in just beginning and having patience with yourself, not forcing. No force, just flow. And as well, guys, as you know, I do health coaching. If you need some guidance, if you need some support, definitely reach out. You can message me on my Instagram if you want to learn more about my coaching programs, or you can just visit my website. It's linked in the description box. You can even join our group coaching program as well. And I do have a few like online resources. So if you feel like you want to just do things yourself, there's a mindfulness guide I have as well. And it's just going to help slow the pace down of your life. Put some mindfulness into your day so that you can properly think and analyze. When you go so fast, you're not able to process stuff. You're not able to hear what you need to hear. So if you want to incorporate mindfulness, if you don't even know how to incorporate mindfulness, I go into detail in there, and I go into different aspects of health and how to incorporate mindfulness into those areas. So you guys can check that out. And I'm going to finish the video there, guys. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video.